Five, four, three, two, one. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Check in if you want to find out about my catastrophe. The little granddaughter was here. Let's say I took too long for breakfast. That's an understatement. Okay, as always, a lot to cover, having a lot of fun. Walmart is moving into healthcare. And of course, that doesn't even sound like news because Walmart is already one of the largest pharmacies in America. Walmart is already one of the largest pharmacy companies in the United States, accounting for 9% of its earnings. But they opened a clinic in Dallas, Georgia, which I don't know even where that is, but anyway, they opened a clinic and patients can make appointments for immunizations, optometry, and more. Okay? Walmart is committed to making healthcare more affordable and accessible for our customers in the communities where we serve. And, my father had a company that catered to independent pharmacies, and I saw this in 76 and wasn't too interested in that as a career. It's still operating today. My wife runs it mostly, but we just keep seeing it shrink. And every year we get customers that have been with us for 50 years will say, well, I'm just closing up or I'm selling out or whatever, usually selling out to some CSV or Health Mart or something. Anyway, so the process continues, but probably does increase efficiency. And Walmart, they put the greeters back in and they do smile at you when you come in, mostly. And their 22 long rifle is back in stock. Okay, here's one, direct marketing color strategy. This I thought was interesting. I always like looking at articles from Summer. And she actually kind of categorized the colors. And I kind of wonder where she got this from. Because it sounds a little more like, Taoist or something. About, Feng Shui or somebody who knows something about color in general. Chinese restaurants, mostly a lot of highlights in red, right? I've been told it makes you want to eat faster. And maybe that's true. It seems like it. So anyway, wherever, there's no footnote on this, but it was interesting. Red, exciting, passionate, dangerous, energetic, or action-oriented. Blue, harmony, peace, stability, calm, and trust. Trust was interesting because when you do a business letter, just a regular business letter, I always felt like it was better to sign it in blue. It made it look more realistic. If you got a deep blue-black, a little black ink, a little blue ink, not cerulean blue. It's that no pen writes in cerulean hardly. So I always did go with that if I could do the two color on the run. Green, growth, generosity, fertility. Yellow, happiness, positivity, optimism. Pink, femininity, playfulness, immaturity. I thought this was interesting because the PGA Tour seems to have more and more of the men wearing pink, and also the NFL seems to require pink on certain, like the month of October, I think it is. They all have pink, which I think is kind of offensive, but let the WNBA wear pink if they want to. Anyway, orange, this is an interesting color. It gives the people feeling of creativity, adventure, success, balance, and enthusiasm. White, you may think of white as a non-color, but evokes emotions of innocence, goodness, humility, and cleanliness. Although I'm told in Asia they wear white to funerals, and so this can be quite different as you get multinational. I think Heather would have mentioned that. Purple, royalty, nobility. That's right out of the Bible, in fact. The snails that make the indigo and purple, and Lydia, the dyer of purple fabrics. Black, mystery, power, sophistication, elegance. I really like this. It gets you thinking. Brown, comfort, security, down to earth, and gray, neutrality and balance. Okay, it's a gray day out there today. Anyway, I just thought I would drop that on you, make you think. So if you don't know what to do in your creative, you might think about color. And this isn't just on, of course, direct mail. Direct mail has the advantage of dominating the desk, of covering up whatever else you had open, whereas digital but you might test it on your landing page. I would love to hear from people who've tested color accents as as an option, A/B splits on landing pages, click-through links, etc. So, did you know that 93% of buyers focus on the visual appearance of your direct mail pieces and base a big chunk of their decisions on that? And I would also add the feel. The feel can do a lot. We've continually tested heavier, less expensive paper, which you'd say would take down the quality look of your piece, but especially when you're selling less expensive items, it always does better. Poorer quality but heavier, thicker paper does better almost 100% of the time, and by a significant margin, like 20%. Okay, so now let's go over to check out Tom Fishburne. There was enough room in the week that I got him marked in here. How to unsubscribe from a marketing newsletter. Tap the link marked unsubscribe where it's in 4-point white font on a white background. In other words, it's hidden. I make mine pretty small type, I admit it, mostly because I don't feel like I should dedicate much to it. Verify your identity, email, name, password, street where your uncle lived in 1994. I've never done that. Manage your preferences, pause for an hour, only send one email per day, unsubscribe to our email but keep our others coming. Yeah. Well, you have to ask better questions than just don't ever send me anything, because that's a little difficult to manage anyway. And why would you unsubscribe? I don't like to save money. I'm an idiot, and I have something like that. I say, you don't want groundbreaking direct marketing news that could make you rich or something. Confirm, are you sure you're a quitter? I do write back to people that unsubscribe, if they're friends of mine or something. And most of the time they write back and say, oh, I didn't realize this was really from you. Well, who do you think it's from? It says my name all over it, and it sounds like me and all that. And lastly, go insane, page not found. We're not going to really listen to you. But the truth is, I don't really want people that don't want me. And so I sent out 1,000 emails. I think about half of them don't get delivered, but because Gmail is convinced I'm a spammer. They think they send my emails. If I email myself to my Gmail just as a backup, they'll block that. Right, that I am spamming myself. Okay, Gmail. Anyway, but out of that 4,000, let's say 2,000 get through, and I got maybe a dozen unsubscribed. So I don't feel like that's too bad, especially when people are getting on my LinkedIn list by spamming me. So I hope they do unsubscribe. I'm happy to have you unsubscribe. I do it all by hand. I know what's going on. I know when you unsubscribe, and I will write you and ask you if you meant to. And I unilaterally unsubscribed my whole EU list because of GDPR. And then they wrote me back and said, no, please, let me have your email. Let me have your newsletter. Okay. Anyway, back to the thanks, Tom. I send them out, if I'm lucky, once a month. Here's a really dumb article. It says, smart home technology unites try to get Google whatever it's called, Stream, or when it comes on your phone and you can send it to your TV, and I couldn't get it to work. Finally, my daughter showed me. I had to download a new app or a Google Home, so that didn't work. And that's what everybody's frustrated when they try to get their stuff to work. It doesn't really work very well. My excitement about 5G is maybe I won't have to subscribe to the cable network to get my 6 megabits per second or something for $200 a month. Maybe, but I don't know. And so, in spite of all the hype, it hasn't really changed our lives. It hasn't changed mine. And I'm deeply concerned about having my phone run over, which is kind of what happened, and not being able to run anything anymore. So I'd rather just have a button. Give me a button. On, off. That's the stuff that actually works. It's going to enable augmented and virtual reality for cooking. Right. I go to YouTube. I do learn a lot of cooking techniques on YouTube, but I don't understand how I'm going to cook better with augmented reality with a thing on my head, distancing me from the food. Taste the food. Oh, anyway. So I didn't like that article. And lastly, I do want to get this squeaked in. Why are marketers attached to outdated demographic profiling? Really interesting. This or she, Gabby. This whole article is about how it doesn't work to lump people together into groups. Yes, it does. It's one factor. If they only bought once, they haven't bought lately, and didn't spend much, what else have you got? You've got the neighborhood they live in. So let's try it. And it turns out sometimes it works. It's especially good if you've got a couple of hundred of them. Okay, consumers don't fit into convenient, predictable categories. Yes, they do. Sorry, Gabby, totally wrong. And then her one basic case says that there was an Army recruitment ad that had negative stereotypes around young people and got all kinds of angry responses that you were depicting young people as snowflakes and selfie addicts and phone zombies. Possibly true. But it doubled the applications to join the military. So, Gabby, you just shot yourself in the foot here. You just proved it works. Okay? It does work. And sometimes negative works. Age, yeah, none of these are perfect, but what else have you got? Half the time you don't. And worse yet, when you have everything else, when you have my actual real age, my actual real credit limit, etc., 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 you have everything, try writing a special message just to me. And don't use any part of that in the next message. It's not possible. So we're going to lump them together. A market is somebody that you can tell the same message to, and it helps. Okay, so enough of that. Just wanted to get that in. Have a great day. Like and share. Share shows you care, and people will think you're smart.